Hello, this is Too Young Radio. I'm the Landgraf from Too Young Baghdad.
Hello everybody and welcome to the October edition of Nastrovje Radio. This time, as the leaves are falling and the leaf above my gender is also falling down, a very lonesome wolf that goes by the name of Jebesta from Nastrovje Sängerknabenwien, who tries to give you an update on Nastrovje on a monthly basis, but this time, as I mentioned, I'm doing it alone since Jebesta and Chris Crusoe and any other co-host has just turned the back on me and left me. But I don't care. I'm a grown-up man and I can do my podcast alone. So what will I bring you on this month's episode? We'll have a worldwide segment that goes to Nashville in Tennessee, where I had the joy and privilege to check in with the Southern Fried Sailor. I took the Denim Learjet and flew over the ocean to went into the gold rush and got to spend half an afternoon with the Southern Fried Sailor, who is right now residing in Washington D.C. But back then he was still up and coming and really active in the Nastrovje and in Nashville in Tennessee. And we'll be talking about some very interesting features about cowboys and how Nastrovje could possibly merge with them. After that, there is another MVP in this month with Chris Crusoe and the trans-local chapter called Western Front. And Chris Crusoe will be talking about the very well done patch of the Western Front. And we will conclude the podcast by going all the way east to St. Petersburg, not in Florida, but St. Petersburg in Russia, to talk to Nastrovje in St. Petersburg about Nastrovje and politics, and even the influence of Vladimir Putin on Nastrovje. So if I'm not going to be arrested by that, by saying that and by publishing this podcast, you will hear from me later as we are going to Nashville in Tennessee over the ocean to check in on a Nastrovje worldwide segment. So open up your pants, have mine open, the schlong is out there, and enjoy this month's episode of Nastrovje Radio. So, we are at the Gold Rush in Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm with the Southern Fried Sailor. Yes, that's what you are, and that's who you are. To chit-chat about...
We like it fried down here.
Yeah, everything's fried, seemingly. We get into the food in a minute. But yeah, Nastrovje Radio visits the south of the state just to talk about Nastrovje and Nastrovje activities in the southern area. And why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? You're the president, right?
The audience? Ooh. My name is Judd Peterson, a.k.a. the Southern Fried Sailor, Turbo Yugen Nashville.
How big is the Yugen in Nashville?
We've got 30-something members. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
30? Wow.
30 or 35 total. A bunch of them have moved out of town. Active members in town, it's maybe 4 or 5. Probably.
Okay, but I think that's a regular development. Like you start off, you get new guys in, everybody leaves town. I understand that Nashville is a university town with Vanderbilt University and University of Tennessee. So have you had many people joining those Yugens and after they graduate they move out? Is that a phenomena in Nashville?
No, because people who listen to Turbo Negro here in town are older. I haven't met many college age kids who have been into it. usually the people who have joined the chapter here, they're older, so they're staying in town, and everyone's just partying one night and say, yeah, I'll join, and then they just forget about it.
So they buy the jacket, and then Chuck earns the money, and then they all off to Jugend. So it's a worldwide phenomenon. It's hard to attract people to Jugend and keep them.
Yeah.
You're talking about a bunch of five people in the Jugend wearing that jacket on a regular basis.
Really, that's Johnny, who should be getting here in a minute. Johnny wears his jacket every single day, everywhere he goes. I don't wear mine because I'm fat and I sweat and I dress scantily. But Johnny's a little bitty thing, and he wears his wherever he goes every day. He's probably the truest Jugend member we've got, to be honest.
Okay, so what Nashville? We're talking 90, 100 degrees in the summer. I mean, right now it's probably around 85, 90 easily, which in Celsius would be, I don't know, north of 30, close to 40, even more than 40 in the summer. So you were just mentioning that you're not wearing your jacket because it's because you're fat, but I think you're beautiful, and
thanks.
that should not keep you from wearing your jacket. Is it because of the heat?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not even the end of May. It is the end of May, and it's already in the 90s. By July, August, it'll be over 100 degrees outside every day, probably. And sometimes I won't even wear a shirt. I'll just wear this.
Just the kuta and no shirt below it. This is the way I like it. Basically, that is the way I wear it. At least in Hamburg, when it's getting hot in Hamburg during the summer when we have the Weltube Jugendtage. As I see on your kuta, you cut your sleeves off. I mean, this is a phenomenon that I've noticed during the years, and right now I'm traveling with a kuta without sleeves as well, because it just makes sense to be on holiday, and if it's warm and you don't have to really use your sleeves. Is that the reason why? Do you think that why Jugens in the south of the states are always cutting their sleeves off? Is that a weather-related phenomenon?
I think it absolutely is. It gets so hot and humid down here. Really, the humidity in the air is what makes it hotter than it really is. Because, 88, 90 degrees really isn't all that hot, but it's so humid outside that us bigger boys will be pouring sweat. And if I've got sleeves on, I just feel that I'm doing more damage than good if I'm wearing them and sweating into them. And I just cut mine off. I saw a bunch of the Atlanta guys doing it. They're kind of my Turbo Jugend role models, I guess.
Okay, so that's
I said, if Atlanta does it, it's okay.
We're talking Gary, right?
Gary and Chris Jackson and Spencer and all the lovely people, TJ Atlanta.
Which is a shout out.
Oh yeah, big shout out, TJ Atlanta.
So because I know that explains a lot actually, because I've noticed that when I look at all the online on Facebook and whatnot, I can notice that all the people in the South who live in the Dixie Darkness chapter. Maybe we can talk about that for a few seconds. This is a local chapter here, but not related to a town, but it's south of the United States.
It's a regional chapter, I think, would best describe it. It's couple members from Nashville, mostly Atlanta guys, and I think a couple of members from Charlotte, or at least used to be in Charlotte, just maybe South Carolina. I can't remember, but it's a southeastern United States chapter.
Are you a member of Dixie Dark?
I am. Been a member for 7 years probably.
Okay.
We all, I first met those guys in Atlanta when Turbo played there in 2007. It was the Retox Tour, I believe. And I guess I can't remember. Chris Summers was out of the band. That's because they had what's his name?
The guy
playing drums.
The guy with the hat.
Yeah.
That nobody knows. I mean, unfortunately, but he was not very prominent, but that's only my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you met him for the first time. That was.
I met all those guys. That was an epic weekend, but me and my friend Josh, the fat, delicious bastard, also from TJ Nashville, we were inducted into Dixie Darkness, and that's how that happened.
So are you thinking of Dixie Darkness? What would be the distances from Nashville to Atlanta to all the other events in mobile?
Atlanta's 4 hours from here, and typically I'll get to see at least a couple of those guys every time I go down there for any reason. I was just in town last year. I went down to see Billy Idol, who totally kicked ass, by the way. And I just happened to see Uncle Spank at the restaurant we went to for lunch. He just walked in and...
Who's Uncle Spank?
Uncle Spank is Spencer from former president of TJ Charlotte, now in TJ Atlanta. A large, beautiful, bearded human being, and I embraced him, and it was great. So there's Atlanta, and I think that's probably the closest active chapter to Nashville.
So when you look at a year's calendar, or what would be the activities that Nastrovje and Nashville would be, at least either attending or organizing themselves?
Well, I hate saying this on Turbo Yugen radio, but we're not really as active as Atlanta is, or anyone in Europe. But we do have a zombie prom every year, weekend before Halloween, and I think this year is going to be the last one. We've had 10 zombie proms, and we'll have bands play, and our very own Tyrannosaurus Copter will play rock and roll and heavy metal records, and that's probably the one time where the most of us are together and partying and being stupid.
That's also, you're also wearing dressed up as a zombie wearing Putin, right?
Yeah, that's happened, but it's pretty open as to what you can wear, how you can dress up, just any Halloween costume, really. We've just stuck with the zombie prom name just because that's tradition.
Is it officially organized by Nastrovje and Nashville, or is it just you guys doing it in the background?
The flyer says Turbo Yugen Nashville presents zombie prom. Whether or not anyone knows what Turbo Yugen Nashville is, I don't even know, but it says that on the flyer. Okay, and
what's the name of the venue you're doing in?
It is a shitty dive bar here in town called the Spring Water.
That's a good name.
Yes.
That's a refreshing name. Right?
The Spring Water, you'd think it sounds like some hip, vegan restaurant or something, but it's so far from that. But I've spent many drunken evenings there. So it's kind of become the home of Turbo Yugen Nashville, and one of our inactive members actually books there. So
there are also bands playing at the Spring Water.
Oh yeah.
And you, I understand you have your own band.
I do. I sing and play guitar for a band called Stallion, and we play rock and roll better than anyone else does in Nashville, in my opinion.
I mean,
but that's just me.
But Stallion is male. It's a very male name of a band, right? If you look at it, if you just think of the animal, like a black, strong animal horse, being a stallion with a fairly well equipped, to quote To quote another Turbo Negro song, if for all of you guys who know the old records, but is it death punk music? Would you call it death punk music?
I would say it's got a lot of death punk in it. There's definitely some turbo worship going on, trying to keep it fast and loud, but with some good pop sensibilities and some hooks, just like Turbo is so good at doing.
Turbo Negro, the old or the new Turbo? Or Turbo in general, with all the looks and all the text, the homosexual?
I would say our music is more Apocalypse Dude, Scandinavian Leather era. Scandinavian's my personal favorite.
Yeah, it is a good one. I get that. Yeah, because it's right between Daft Punk and Klaus Nomi, if you ever heard about him.
Yeah.
And all this pop-like, not pop-like, but the cheesiness, like a little bit of Liberace touch to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sweaty gay thing.
But it's still like weird and dark too.
Yes, it's a combination of this and the stadium rock influence and everything. So I understand that Nashville is Johnny Cash hails from Nashville, right? Dolly Parton, which you have on your button, which is with hang size, very nicely done, by the way. So it's a country. It's a country city, and the Country Music Hall of Fame is in Nashville, Tennessee. So how would cowboys or country music fans react to your tutu when you walk the dark streets of the dark, humid streets of Nashville? How would all American cowboys react to that?
People don't really notice typically. Because there are all sorts of hipsters here and people wear all sorts of weird stuff. The only people who really notice are biker gangs, and I've been hassled before, which they're the only people that notice. I don't know how all that works. But other than that, no one really knows what it is or cares. They got their own thing going on, whatever.
You're just thinking of this huge country following, and there used to be a movie out. There was a movie out years ago called Brokeback Mountain, and this captures so much of sailormen, cowboys and sailormen. For me, it's one breed. One goes to the sea, and the other one rides a stallion, which has both things have lots of there's a gay aspect to both of them. Have you seen gay cowboys?
I've never seen any in person. I'm certain that they're out there. Just down the street from the Gold Rush, actually, is the gay district.
There's a gay district in Nashville?
Oh yeah. There's about a block area, and there are a couple of dance clubs and little bars.
Are the country gay bars?
I don't know if there are specifically country gay bars. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. I don't know. If there were gay cowboys who listened to rock, I think that...
Or country?
Or gay. that's an untapped market. If they're out there, I'd love to meet them.
Yeah. Would you consider founding a cowboy Jugend Brokeback Mountain?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, think about it. Cowboys and sailormen uniting.
They would probably be into starting their own chapter and having their own jackets too.
That would look nice, like pink cowboy hats, or white
real good.
Or just white. Why not just white cowboy hats? Or instead of on the kootie on your back, is it Turbo Cowboy or Turbo Cowboys Brokeback Mountain in the middle? Instead of the leather cap, you have a cowboy hat. Because I I was personally thinking of founding a Turbojugend Waltons Mountain. Because I like the Waltons. The Waltons used to be the TV series that everybody knows when they all go to bed and say goodnight to each and every one, right? The Waltons from back in the 70s, right? And there used to be a German cow-punk band called the Waltons. They played punk rock with a cow attitude at least, and some country influence, but it's really good for those guys. Maybe I'll put it on the podcast at one point. But the Waltons were one of my favorite bands. So they inspired me to actually mingle one of my favorite band, Turbo Negro, and one of my most favorite bands as well, the Waltons, into one thing. It would be Turbojugend Brokeback Mountain, but as I know, to my knowledge, has not been founded yet.
Yeah.
So, but you would definitely be a candidate for a cowboy-related, country-related gay thing.
Oh yeah. I'd totally be into that.
All right. So yeah, I think we learned enough of Nashville. Being a death punk town, country music town, we'd like to conclude the podcast with a song from your band called "The Stallions," where you also sing. Which song would you recommend playing?
I'd say probably the best song for the Turbojugend to hear would be a song called "Boys Gone Wild."
So let's get it on.
Because that comes directly from a line. I guess it was from Welcome to the Garbage Dump, where he said, "Welcome, boys gone wild." That's where I got it from.
Okay, so let's get wild. Here are the Stallions. Boys Gone Wild, sung by the Southern Fried Sailor of Turbojugend Nashville with his band Stallion on their album Violate the Night. Violating the night, yeah, that's what we do at least on certain occasions during the year. And I will get back to all the Turbojugend events at the end of the podcast, so I'll let you know why you can violate the night in style. But before that, I will feature another MVP, another most valuable patch for your jacket, and we'll go to the western part of Germany to talk to Chris Crusoe about the Western Front.
The MVP, the most valuable patch of my Kuta.
Another MVP, another strong looking chest, another awesome looking gentleman with a new haircut, which I totally dig. And it's a Turbojugend Western Front. And Chris Crusoe is with me, who is from Turbojugend Opladen, a very honorary and honorary president. And
that's what they say.
That's what they say, and that's what I've experienced over all those years. And I'm just give us a brief description of the MVP of this month. It's about the patch. Just try to describe it. I'll give you a hand.
Well, first I might have to say the Western Front is not just a chapter. It's like a clique, a group of joining different Jugends from one area around, Western Germany, from the Ruhr area to the Rhine area, I don't know, where the Western Front was around, more or less. That's
Western Front back in the days when the war took place?
Back in the days when everything was better, during the war times, for example.
Yeah.
No, it's just there was in the old forum, in the old board, there were several small clubs, like the Southern Queers and the Northern Lights and the Easter Eggs, for East, North, West, and so on. So we are kind of like the West German section, and this is how it came up.
So that would be cities like Cologne, where are you happily living?
Yeah, that's kind of like the center. Going south to Bonn, for example, in the north, up to the whole Ruhr area. Essen, Dortmund, whatever, Bottrop, the whole way up to Westfalen, which basically people are so special with their local specialties somehow, saying no, I'm from that area, I'm from that area. As I say, I'm from Opladen, I'm not from Leverkusen, though I live there anyway.
It's a part, Opladen, your union is being part of the city of Leverkusen.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But everybody seems to be pretty picky with where I'm from, and if you make those little groups up, everybody wants to belong, and people kind of seem to have the strong wish to distinguish somehow. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but people love clubs and uniforms, so this is why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. So you decided to even though they want to be like really special and local, you decided fuck it, and you take the idea of the old Turbojugend forum on the so-called internet, and you just picked the idea up and you founded or different members founded the Turbojugend Western Front. Why don't you give us a brief description of the patch itself?
The patch is a skull with wings, which is not so original since I guess the band Overkill had it first, and since then on every rock and roll t-shirt or whatever merch you find skulls with wings. But I have to go back to that point how it developed, because it just grew naturally, and at some point you meet. Cologne was kind of the center, and people always meet there at concerts. For example, like bands like Peter Pan's Speed Rock playing town, you met like 20, 30, 40, 50 people from the Jugend with a Kutte, and so it kind of grew together, and in one point someone came up with those patches and t-shirts, and we had t-shirts with the same, like with the skull and the wings, and on the back it had like the chapters, like not you apply for it and then you're in. It was more like the people you just meet naturally. Yeah, this was how it went. And
that's how I got my beautiful patch. The skull has Hank's eyes on it, has an obviously angry face, so he wants to destroy stuff.
No, I guess it's Alice Cooper eyes.
Yeah. Oh really?
No.
So and the Turbojugend Western Front is written in that old German letters that we all dig, and it's provocative. And when I saw the patch for the first time, I was like, wow, this is way out there, because it looks like really strong in a Wehrmacht military way.
I think people just like this appearance of like being a gang, and so the stronger the image is, the more you like to show it around. It's not stronger than the SS skull on Euroboy's head. So
this is the borderline. We know what the borderline we don't want to cross.
We kind of like play with that image. Still, I have to say I didn't design that. The Turbojugend, the famous Honorable Turbojugend Hilden came up with that, and I don't know if Mr. Brunduligan designed that himself or a friend of him, but they were the founders of that design, and so we have to mention them.
Yeah,
and it lives on. Though I don't know if the Turbojugend Hilden still lives on.
No, the Turbojugend Hilden itself. They had I own just a button of the Turbojugend Hilden. They had a Paris Hilton with the Hank's eyes on. It was one of the best buttons I actually own, but I don't think they're too active. But still, they did an awesome job with developing that patch, and
really nice guys. And they had so many great ideas. They had that Slayer ripoff and something with the Simpsons, like a Homer Simpson face, and we really miss those guys. If you're listening,
come back. Turbojugend Hilden, come back. Take Paris with you, please, and drop her off my apartment. And I give her back after 2 days.
But then she's used.
Yeah, but then she has Hank's eyes of a different kind.
Everywhere.
Yeah. But it's an awesome patch, I have to say, and so you're keeping the whole unity of the Western Front in Western Germany. So I thank you. Chris Crusoe, thank you for everything you do. You enrich my life because I live close to you, and you take me under your wing, which is even more beautiful than the wing on the patch.
We will also have to mention Cologne, Björn, the old Cologne chapter that doesn't exist anymore, and also Villa Duria, Mark, because they are two people who also are pretty engaged in the Western Front activities, and tons of more people that I will not mention because they're not here, fuckers.
Yeah, but the message goes out. Turbojugend Western Front, all the guys who designed the logo and used to be in there. Come back. Woo. Come back. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
We wait. Make it.
Thank you, Western Front. Not only for providing the MVP, the most valuable patch of my Kutte for the month of October, but also for providing a really strong alliance that protects Germany and the old Chibesta from the evil forces of Netherlands, France, and even Belgium. If we turn the other way, to the east, we'll find another good alliance, Turbojugend alliance in the city of St. Petersburg in Russia, as we talk to them about Turbojugend in Russia in general, and also about the influence of politics on Turbojugend, as well as the reason why you might not want to put a lipstick on and a sailor hat in the dark streets of Moscow. It is sad, but there are ways around that, which will be explained by Nastrovje and St. Petersburg in this month's segment of the Forum.
Nastrovje Radio goes all the way east. We are heading to St. Petersburg in Russia, which makes me very, very happy to finally get some touch on Nastrovje in the east, especially in Russia, because I've been looking for that for years, and there was nothing going on, and now finally, eventually, there is some movement out there in the east. Who's out there?
Hey. Hello. Yes, my name is Konstantin, or my warrior name is Xenomorph. I'm president of our union, and also
my name is Kirill, and the warrior name is Kirill the King. So, Torqueria.
Okay, so you guys are based in St. Petersburg in Russia. It's a nice, very beautiful city. I've been there a few years ago, but I liked it a lot. So the topic of today's discussion is the political regimes and Nastrovje, and in how far, I would like to ask you guys and discuss with you guys in how far do politics repress youth culture, or in how far is politics intervening or dealing with youth culture, especially the Nastrovje. Because I've always wondered, and I talked on another podcast, I talked to Ram from Nastrovje Praha, and he told me that they're back in the years, and there's still some influence of politics and youth culture, especially punk rock. So, have you guys experienced anything in your country as far as punk rock and politics go? Any developments in the last years?
yes, sometimes when it's big punk rock show, I don't think it's possible to make some big punk rock show in Russia with bands who sing about politics and some stuff. I think it's really difficult. So if you have some small band, if you play in small clubs, it's okay. You can talk what you want. But when your band is grow up bigger, I think you need to shut your mouth from the scene. You need just to think about beer. I don't know, about girls and something like that.
Okay. So what you're saying is that if the band is getting bigger, it will the people will, or the regime or the politicians, they will look at what you say, and if it's not in their interest, they will get problems.
I think yes, it's true.
But it's difficult question, because it depends what do you think the big punk rock show. So it's 1,000 people, or it's 5,000 people, or it's a stadium. For example, Green Day or Anti-Flag are big bands, but somehow they play politics songs, and they play in big clubs and have crowds.
But is that a problem if some US punk rock bands they have some political message? Would they have also problems in Russia if they?
They play shows, so yes, they have crowd, and
I think it's because they think about America. so
they can say whatever.
And such bands like the band Discharge from Great Britain, so they are really political. I'm not very involved in cross punk scene and music, but they played show, and or Doom also, for example, they played shows, and
they don't have any problems.
And yes, they have.
Okay, so what you're saying that if the band is it's a bigger internationally known band, it maybe a pop-oriented punk band like just as Green Day, no problem, whatever, because they sing in English, and that might be a reason for they should be able to understand English, but that could be a reason that they don't actively do something. Or Discharged from the UK, which is a smaller band. And but if it's from outside, it's seemingly okay. But thinking back of this Pussy Riot girl punk pop, I don't know what you want to call it, band. Can you explain how this took place and what happened there? Do you know?
Okay.
I think that Pussy Riot is not really bands. They don't play no one show. They don't have songs. But yes,
it's more maybe some kind of political and art project, but not a fun band. So yes, they have songs, but I'm not sure that they have really played any.
It's not a really, so it's an art project, that's what you're saying, and it's not a real band?
At the same time, it's art and political project.
So it's not about the music, what they do, they use music, but they regard themselves as more of a political anti-system base, and they make music to spill the message over the country. So how was the reaction of Putin, and how would you judge the intensity that Putin dealt with the Pussy Riot thing? Is that okay? Was that seen okay, or was there a bit outcry in Russia when that happened?
It was, I can call it a big scandal in punk rock when it started, because really they don't do nothing, they just sing in church, and I don't think Putin care about it, but all men from churches, they start to speak that it's shit. They come in holy place and they dance in holy place, so we need to kill them or maybe something like that. So in this kind, Putin need to react, and of course his reaction, it was very awful. So they don't do nothing, but they get 2 years of prison. It's very crazy.
And it's important to know that somehow, but politics and church are connected in Russia. So, and it's not a very easy situation, but somehow there are some Orthodox church, and nowadays there are lots of Muslim church, lots of people, and somehow it's some kind of competition
between the religion.
Yeah.
So the religion wants to stand in for their people.
Yeah, I think for Putin it was important
to get some support
from Orthodox Church. And to show, so I would like to say that it's no matter what religion you church, but anyway he supported Orthodox Church.
Okay,
and,
so
that's why this situation, I think, helped him to show this his
support to Orthodox Church.
Okay, so he's using politics and religion against his for his own ideas and against other people. Well, if we go away from the Pussy Riot topic to punk rock in general or subculture in general, how's subculture developing in Russia? Because I can imagine that after the opening of the East to the West, there was a lot of subculture exploding and expressing themselves in Russia. Are there many punk rock bands in Russia? Is there a big punk rock scene?
It's really big. It's really big now, but not. We don't have a lot of good bands, but it's okay for us. And it was much more worse 5 or 6 years ago, because a lot of punk rock shows ends when some police from inside, or maybe some Nazis come to close your show. Yes, but now it's a little bit better. We have shows maybe once a week or maybe 2 times a week. Some local bands or maybe some bands from Russia, but not local. But now it's okay.
So what is interesting? you were saying that there were concerts and there were like police invading the concert and Nazis also trying to get in and fight.
Yes, it was 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think each show ends the same way.
Okay, so every show ended in a fight, basically.
Yes. But now we don't have so many problems with Nazis. I don't know, maybe they moved somewhere, but in our city. But I hear that the guys in Moscow, they still have some problems sometimes.
Why in Moscow? What is the problem with Moscow?
I don't know. Maybe because Moscow has too much immigrants from our side of Russia, so maybe this reason Nazis is more concentrated in Moscow. Because I don't see so many Nazis here.
And as Moscow is bigger than St. Petersburg, and your previous question about punk rock scene, that Russia is a pretty big country, so if you're living in a big city like Moscow or St. Petersburg or a couple of others, there are no problems to make shows, to practice,
But if you live somewhere in Siberia, they maybe have 3 or 5 bands for all big Siberia.
And else here we have, you can go to the punk rock show, or maybe you can stay home, maybe you can go to bar. But maybe in Siberia, if you have one show in a month, you have to go to visit it.
Yeah, I get it. So it's a very, very big country, and the punk.
Yeah, and it's not too easy to tour here like bands doing it in Europe. So
I get it. It's such a huge country, and there's only in the big cities, punk rock is happening basically, and everywhere else it's kind of hard to do and organize stuff. Which brings me to the topic of the Trubie Jugend in Russia. How big is your Jugend, and maybe you can give us a little bit of an history of Trubie Jugend in St. Petersburg and in Russia?
Yes, we have some, right now we have 9 persons in our Jugend. Yes, and at the beginning our Jugend starts somewhere in 2003 or 2005. With a lot of metalheads, they listen to band Him, and I think they listen that Him cover song from Turbo Negro, and they start to listen to this band, and they founded Jugend. But it was dead in 2007, so they closed this immediately, and our Jugend was dead for about 5 years, and in 2013 I was in Belgium at the festival Grey Rock with my friends, and we see a lot of people in nice jackets, some kind of biker jackets, but in denim, and we talk with them, and they explain us what they have, and Turbo Negro, they play at the last day of the festival, and it was a really nice show. I really love it, because before I just hear them in the internet or maybe YouTube. Yes, and when we come back, we decide that we need to start some Jugend in St. Petersburg. So we just reunited, and all the members go out because they don't want to be inside anymore. So as now we start in 2013. So it's just 1 year of our Jugend.
Okay, so but you guys are getting active, and you said you have 9 members.
Yes, we are 9.
Okay, good, but that's quite a good number to start off after 1 year, depending on how many are active. Do you have any contacts with other Jugends from other parts of Russia?
Yes, we have one Jugend in Moscow. It's capital of Russia with maybe 20 persons. And also there is one small city close to Moscow, Vladimir, and they have 3 persons in the Jugend.
So that's Trubie Jugend Moscow? Is that Moscow, the Trubie Jugend Moscow?
Yes, Moscow and Vladimir.
Vladimir, like the name, okay. Yes. So that's pretty cool. So I heard that, but going back to a little bit to the politics again, and because I personally, when I go to Hamburg for the Welt Trubie Jugendtage, I'd like to put on some makeup and lipstick and look all nice and stuff. You know, that's habit. If you like it,
can you send us photo?
What is that?
Can you send us photo? Your photo in makeup?
I didn't say it again.
Can you send to us your photo in the makeup?
Yeah.
We want to see you in the makeup.
Yeah, you will. I mean, you can go on the internet. I'll post some stuff for you. It's just joy. But a picture, if I go to Russia and do the same thing, if I put the lipstick and makeup on and walk through the streets of St. Petersburg or Moscow, hearing that from the media that some Russians are very homophobic, I would think that this can cause some trouble, and people will, or Nazis or whoever else, will have problems with that, and they will kick my beautiful small ass.
I think it depends first of all in which city you will make it. So if you make it somewhere in the center of Moscow or maybe St. Petersburg, I don't think you will have any problem. Just the people will look at you like you're some crazy. They will say, you're gay, so go with Euro back. Yeah, but if you go in somewhere not the center of the city, maybe you'll have some problems, because a lot of people who live outside of city or in suburb, they are some kind of rednecks or bullies, so you will get some problems. Yes.
So okay, you think that if you see my pictures and if you like it and you decide you also want to put on makeup, it's you will probably walk the line in St. Petersburg, and you might run into some troubles, which I don't want, of course, but it's certainly a possibility.
Yes, maybe if you meet some not good persons, you will get some kicks in your ass. Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully only the ass.
You look strange, but you can't promise that you have problems. So it depends on situation. So people can look with smiles on your face or with strange ways.
Yes,
and so it depends on situation. And also there are no Nazis. Real Nazi boneheads, skinheads on the streets. Maybe sometimes on football games, but. Maybe you can't see in the crowd and say, "Oh, he's a Nazi."
You cannot tell.
No, you can do it if you have strange clothes or something. But
so why is it like this? Is the political regime? Would you say it's a political influence that makes people homophobic? Will politicians say homosexual gay people are bad? Is that a thing that Putin would say, or?
I think from the beginning, where there were not nobody.
Yes,
nobody said from the beginning. Nobody said that being gay is okay. Nobody said these words. No one politics. And now, it's some kind of homophobic laws and.
There are laws against gays.
Yeah. Actually, from the beginning, maybe people gay. It's strange, but.
But at the beginning, maybe 30 years ago, when we have communism, if you are openly gay, you will go to the prison. So it's starts from the old times, and all people in Russia now it's some kind of stereotypes. If you are a man, you need to some kind of beard. You need to be strong. You need to drink in the evening.
Like we do.
Yes.
There's everything. You have a beard. You drink. You are strong. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, but it's some kind of stereotypes was in USSR. Because and all people think yes, it's not to be gay. It's not okay to be gay. Yes, and now I think Putin is not so homophobic, but he needs to get votes on the election, so he can tell that gay is not good. So
he gets the votes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And else it's easy to find and Okay, for not. I also think this is not. From the beginning. It's easy to find the
gay people,
collect hateness to the gay people. So and later he can connect all these waves to
get
his
the vote,
vote,
and
maybe to other people he didn't like.
Okay,
yes, it's the same because we have really strong Orthodox church now, and of course they don't like gays too, and it was a long time ago, and Putin and a lot of Russian people now it's still Orthodox, and of course he needs votes from them too, so he accepts all what they don't like.
Okay, I get it. So it's easier to use like the message that gay homosexuality is bad to get lots of votes, because you get the votes from the conservative people, the not so bright people from like who have a very old-fashioned view. Plus, you get votes from a very strong Orthodox church, and it's easier to get lots of votes. It's easier to get more, and you will get more votes from that, as if you would do maybe the liberal way, as in the Western world, where you will get votes if you say that sexuality and gays is okay, because you will get votes for that because you're super liberal and that's what people. Okay, so it's still a very old-fashioned country. You were mentioning the Tsar back in the days with the beard and manly behavior and drinking and stuff. So that still applies to certain parts of Russia, I would think, and where you can get your votes from. Okay, I'll get it. That makes sense, and it's a really interesting aspect of your culture and the politics. And another aspect of your culture that I'm very, very interested in is, and I saw it on the internet. You posted that I think you had some little dolls produced. There's this. Matryoshkas, and in Germany we would call them babushkas, and I don't know the English word honestly. But can you explain what you did?
In Russian, babushka it's old woman.
Grandmother.
Yes, because it's we decided to make it just before we go to the in Germany in festival. It's called Ruchport Rodeo. Yes, and as we are Russians, we decided to don't come empty-handed, and we decided to make some presents to the band. And of course, it's traditional Russian dolls. So yes, we find some man who makes these dolls. He worked to make these dolls. So yes, we just ask him to paint some for us. We give him instructions. We give him a lot of photos of the band, and he make it. Yes, and we meet the band at the festival. They were really happy to get these dolls. They make a lot of pictures with us. It was really nice.
Okay, so you went to the Ruhrpott Rodeo Festival in Germany in the summer, just a few weeks ago.
Yes.
You met the band and you gave them these dolls. I think the audience, some of you might know it. It's like a few dolls. You can put one smaller doll into the other one, and it adds up to like 5 dolls within each other. And what they did, they drew the whole band as those little dolls, and it looks amazing. And you gave it to the band at the concert backstage.
Yes, we go to the backstage. It was first time for me when I was at the backstage of some big festival, and it was really nice. We like it. Yeah,
did you get to talk to Trubenigo, to the band? Yeah.
Yes, we spent I think maybe 40 or 50 minutes on the backstage. We speak a lot because we speak with Tommy, with all the band. Yes, they make a lot of photos with babushkas, with us, with babushkas, and it was really fun because when we go, we decide that we will not interrupt the band a lot. We will just make 2 or 3 photos and we will left. But they say us, guys, stay, let's drink some beer with us, let's drink some champagne with us. We want to make photo with you. We make just 2 or 3 photos with them, but band make maybe 23 photos with us.
And so the band really got into that, and you got to spend a lot of time with the band, and you even had champagne with the band.
Yes, and they were very surprised that someone in Russia comes so long way. Yes, and it was a surprise for me that Happy Tom know my name, because when he go outside, he say, "Hey, Konstantin, it's you." I say, "Huh, Happy Tom, hello."
You're famous. I mean what you're doing is really, really a totally nice and perfect thing to transfer Trubie Jugend or the band Trubie Negro to a cultural thing, and it's a very, I like those whenever those things happen, when something of the punk rock or metal or death punk world gets translated into a local culture. And you did an awesome job, and I will post this picture on the TJR Jugend Podcast Facebook page, of course, so people can have a look at this and really enjoy what the band also enjoyed. So I hear that you're traveling also around to concerts quite a bit to see Trubie Negro play.
Yes, I was one time in Belgium, and also I was in Belgium in 2013, after I was in Germany in 2014, and unfortunately I will miss show in Hamburg, because I don't think it's possible for me to come, but 3 or 4 people from Moscow will come. And the next stop for me will be in Sweden, because Sweden is not far from Russia, so we will get some ferry boats from Finland or maybe from Russia, and we'll go from Finland. Yes, and we will go to the
Stockholm.
Yes, in September. So see the bands again.
Okay, so this punk rock boat cruise.
Yes.
I heard about that. It's supposed to be really great.
The ferry is duty free.
Yes,
I know. I've been on these ferries, and it's always very bad because you get really drunk and everything happens on those ferries. Okay, great. So thank you guys for taking your time. So you're recording this on the evening of the World Cup final. It was a good preparation. You had your beers, and thank you very much for taking your time and explaining lots of very interesting aspects of punk rock and culture and politics and even religion together with Trubie Jugend in Russia. And I cannot wait to have you guys or see you guys eventually, maybe next year in Hamburg, or at one point maybe in Sweden if I can get the chance to go on that ferry boat. But I'd love to see you guys and even exchange some patches and do what we do, which is button trading, ass grabbing, button trading, patches trading, drinking beers.
Are you planning to go to Hamburg? Are you planning to go to Hamburg?
Yes, definitely. I'm always there. It's not far. I just take the car or the train and go there. So I will be there. But I really hope to see you guys there very soon at wherever that will be. And I wish you guys all the best for your Jugend. Stay strong, stay gay. Consider putting on makeup, but please be safe always.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
From Russia with love. That was truly an ass full of love from the Trubie Jugend of St. Petersburg, and I just thank you for making Russia put Russia actually on the Trubie Jugend map together with the other Trubie Jugends from the country of Russia. Also want to mention Trubie Jugend Russia in that conversation. All right, so that almost concludes the October episode of Trubie Jugend Radio. As promised, I would like to mention that we put on the Trubie Jugend News website on Facebook. We put on a list with all the Trubie Jugend events. It's kind of crucial and important, as I mentioned before, to not only be a Trubie Jugend member locally and then maybe out with your buddies with jackets on, and maybe not only on Facebook, which is boring anyway on the internet, but also go out there and party with us, with the best of us. So let's rattle off the up and coming Trubie Jugend events worldwide. I can see that there are lots of Halloween parties going on with Trubie Jugend. if you want to be like all crazy and put your kuti on and put some blood on it and drench yourself in blood, you will get a chance to do so on the last day of October, on the 31st of October at the Halloween Zombie Prom in Cincinnati, Ohio. Totally nice guys there. So if you're living in the vicinity, go check it out. If you are in Europe, I would recommend going to the Nastrovje Alpen Halloween Party Part 2. So there obviously has been a first one. Check that out. And if you're based in London or the UK or close to that, or if you want to travel to London, True Negro will be playing at the Crossfire Halloween Massacre in London, okay, on the 1st of November. The 1st of November is also the 9-year anniversary of True Töölö in Helsinki in Finland, Töölö being a part of Helsinki. So if you want to have join the party and participate on the unofficial bowling championship of True in Finland, hit the plane or hit the car or hit a boat and go to Helsinki in Finland. At the same time in True in Finland, Pikkujoulut, which is small Christmas, I think, as I now have a rough idea of the Finnish language. They have a Hard Nipples 3 party at the bar Loose. I think that is as well in Helsinki. So I would think that the Töölö party and the Pikkujoulut event is closely related. One day later, on the 2nd of November, True plays in Gothenburg in Sweden. And you might want to check the boys out there if you're located in Sweden or feel like going there. On the 10th of November, there is a turbo party in Strasbourg in France. So if you feel like hanging out with the French dudes, or maybe get some French kiss or whatnot, go to Strasbourg in France on the 10th of November. That is. On the 15th of November, you could get to see True Negro play. As you can probably tell, True Negro is doing a little club tour in the fall. You can check True Negro out in Oslo, Norway. Always a good thing to go to Oslo, not only to the bloodbath, but also to check out Pat Pampari's Pizza or see True Negro play in their hometown. That's going to happen on the 15th of November. On the same day, there is the True in Green Bay, which is in Milwaukee. In the U.S., there is a 2nd year anniversary and a party there. If you want to go big and go think festival again, indoor festival, the best place to do so is the Speedfest in Eindhoven in the Netherlands. And I will certainly be there to see True Negro play, to see Peter Pan Speedwork play, to see Jyrki's favorite band Midnight play. And they just recently changed the schedule accordingly, so you don't have to decide between True Negro and Midnight. But you will also get to see the Addicts. So you're putting on some makeup on that date, on the 22nd of November, will be a good idea and will be strongly recommended. And I heard that tons of Jugends from Europe will be going to the Speedfest in Eindhoven in the Netherlands. At the same day, across the ocean, there will be a tri-state Thanksgiving event in New York City in the USA with some true Jugend lads hanging out there and doing what they can do best, which is basically ass grabbing and drinking, I guess. True Negro is after that in December. We are in December now. They are touring, and they are touring in Helsinki in Finland on the 5th of December. On the 6th of December, there's my own event without True Negro, but with a really cool True Jugend cover band from Vienna, Austria. They are called Futtunego. And they will be playing at my own Christmas party in Vienna. It's called True Jugend Against Christmas with a double A and yes, get it, as funny, and against Christmas, against Jesus. You get the picture. We will be partying on that Saturday, which is the 6th of December. After that, let me just rattle off a few True Negro concerts. They will be doing a tour of Spain, taking them on the 11th to Madrid, on the 12th to Gijón, on the 13th to Vitoria-Gasteiz in Spain, which I've never heard, but it's probably a cool place to be or live. Barcelona will get their share of True Negro on the 14th of December, and my this month's Turbo Jugend calendar ends with the Turbo Silvester, which is the New Year party or gathering that takes place at French Limerick in St. Pauli in Hamburg. So if you guys want to put some sense or drink some sense into the end of the year, the best chance to do so is to go to Herbert, to French Limerick, and party like there's no tomorrow. Alright, so that concludes this month's episode of True Vegan Radio. I hope you guys liked it. I was alone and I tried to get some other friendly fire as my co-host on the next month's episode. So until then, see you, and I'll be talking to you in Eindhoven. If you guys want to meet up with me, I will be there, and I will be having my microphone with me. But no podcast is ending without a cream puff by the Bengal, who is back home in Vienna, but he surely took his time to present to you another cream puff, another good piece of music, my Bengal fell in love with. Enjoy.
My first rock and roll music heroes were the Sex Pistols. I heard the Bollocks album every single day after coming home from school in my room. It was on vinyl, yes, the black big thing that doesn't fit into CD player. Sorry. Didn't mean you guys. I still have this record, and when I listen to it, I feel like the little schoolboy back in the days. These were also the days when I started to play guitar, and guess who was, and still is, my hero? Right, Steve Jones. After the Pistols split in the late 70s, Steve Jones and Paul Cook formed the Professionals. Underrated as hell, but damn good. Such a special sound, very Jonesy-like. So you are going to hear the song Mods, Skins, Punks by the Professionals from their 1981 album I Didn't See It Coming.